Ilona is a diverse continent. Though much of the land is arid desert, further north the sweeping sand dunes give way to craggy cliffsides and rocky canyons. Wide meadows of bright flowers, the result of a hot, wet climate, are set against a backdrop of towering spires carved by the relentless wind. Travel in these desert highlands is precarious, with one wrong step sending the unwary traveller tumbling to their doom. So to traverse the rocks, the inhabitants must employ the skills of one mount in particular, the Springer. Springers gain their name from the way that they move, bounding forwards and leaping up as if propelled by springs. They are suited to this dangerous terrain as it favours their uniquely adapted physiology. Pointed toes tipped with hard nails give them the grip necessary when moving over icy or snowy terrain, and work equally well on sand or rock. They can grip the small ledges that pocket these cliffsides, using them like steps to leap upwards. Springers' feet are large, and their soles bear padded toes surrounded by fur. As well as providing insulation, this fur helps generate friction against the ground, stopping the springer from slipping or losing their footing. The size of their feet spreads the springer's weight, and helps to stabilise them during their impressive leaps, as well as acting as shock absorbers when they jump from great heights. These mounts can cover great stretches of open land effortlessly due to the structure of their hind legs. Long elastic tendons generate the kinetic energy that propels them forwards. It's a highly efficient method of locomotion, meaning the springer can traverse great distances without getting tired. Springers are so well adapted to their particular niche that their bodies have developed to the extreme. Evolution may have given springers a wonderfully fluid method of movement whilst hopping, but they have a rather inelegant way of walking. Their feet are so large that they cannot move their hind legs independently. In order to walk, they must employ their tails as a fifth leg to lever their weight and swing their hind legs forwards. They support themselves on their forelimbs, which are very short in comparison to the rest of their body. This is to stop their bodies becoming top-heavy when they bound forwards, but it means that they are more vulnerable when walking or digging for food. The terrain is only one challenge that creatures face living in this area. At these higher altitudes, the weather can be as mercurial as it can be pleasant. Rainstorms come and go with frequency, and just a short distance to the north, the ground is blanketed in thick snow and buffeted by icy wind. Springers take all of this in their stride. Their fur is short, not too thick to stifle them, but enough to keep them warm, and when temperatures soar, springers maintain their internal temperature without losing precious moisture. Though they can dispel heat through licking their forelimbs and spreading saliva over their faces to both groom and cool down, more commonly, springers thermoregulate via their ears. Fine blood vessels crisscross their skin just below the surface. In hot weather, the vessels dilate, losing heat from the bloodstream, and when it's colder, their vessels contract, reducing the blood flow and heat loss through their skin. Thermoregulation is not the only thing springers' ears are good for. They are also an excellent early warning system. Together with the springer's sense of sight and smell, these creatures are masters at detecting threats in their environment. Springers' ears are large and can be rotated to pick up sounds from afar. Their eyes, set on either side of their head, allow for a wide field of view to ensure nothing can approach them without them noticing. Springers are always sniffing and snuffling the air. Their good sense of smell helps them detect threats long before they can be seen or heard. Their reliance on no single sense means the springers are always aware of their surroundings. Springers' fur responds well to being dyed. As such, they are often styled to reflect the individual tastes of their riders. But their base colouring is very effective camouflage against the browns and creams of desert highlands. Many springers come in shades of tawny brown, with patches of white on their feet and fluffy tufts on their ears, tails and heads. Most have stripes, speckles or patches of contrasting colours, which break up their silhouette against the tawny plains and makes them much harder to spot, despite their imposing size. Although it's hard to imagine a creature that would prey on these mounts, springers maintain many of the adaptations of prey animals, and for whatever reason, they continue to serve them well. Springers eat a wide variety of vegetation. They can't afford to be picky when the majority of their environment is bare, barren rock. They can survive on harsh fare, such as grass, twigs, even bark. When the rains appear, the ground bursts forth great swathes of vegetation. and when temperatures soar, plants lose their leaves and flowers go dormant. Springers beat these fluctuations by storing as much energy as they can in fat reserves. It lends them their adorable countenance, keeps them warm, and ensures they keep moving even when food is scarce. To process their diet of vegetation, springers' teeth are adapted to snipping off shoots and grinding coarse leaves. Behind their sizable incisors are rows of molars that make short work of whatever food these creatures can find. The favourite food of domestic springers is tasty cultivated carrots. A springer's trainer can curry great favour by presenting their mount with these choice vegetables. It's no wonder that springers gather and thrive where they can find the best food. Here in the Stampede uplands, frequent rainstorms, bright warm sun and fertile soil generate large meadows of lush green plants. This climate also makes farming possible and even profitable. It's here that the first humans south into Ilona from Ebonhawk made their homes. Over time, their community has blossomed into a ranch specialising in breeding and training springers. These mounts enable communities that would otherwise be isolated to liaise and come together to trade. But the relationship between this community and their mounts extends far beyond transportation. Their adaptations, as well as their calm and friendly nature, make springers excellent companions for other creatures. They are quite happy to spend time surrounded by other domesticated animals. On High Jump Ranch, springers are corralled with chickens and pigs. This has the benefit of keeping these animals calm and acts as a warning system for any prowling predators. The farmers also employ springers to help cultivate their fields. Their barreling attacks send shockwaves into the earth and frighten off pesky groundhogs that decimate precious crops. The farm would not nearly be as productive without this intervention. Whether braving the snowscapes of old dwarven ruins, or bounding along flower-filled meadows, leaping up sheer cliff sides, or careering over shifting sand dunes, springers' utility makes them a unique and very useful mount. Appealing to the new and veteran adventurer alike, even the errant ogre recognises these charming creatures for their versatility. It's no wonder travellers flock from far and wide to these rocky highlands to claim one of these friendly creatures as their own.